sort the bricks out. Okay. We have one job.
There you go.
Nice. Hello! And welcome to Bricking It, the podcast where two nerdy best friends talk about nerdy stuff and news, whether that's movies, TV shows, comic books, cosplay, any of that stuff, while we make Lego, because why not?
I'm glad that was Lego and not love.
That's not for the podcast.
Anyway, just as a recap, we are building Boba Fett's Starship. If you watched the last episode, you'll know that we got to this point, and we're going to carry on from here.
On to bag 3.
If you're listening to this as an audio version, we also have a video version on YouTube.
And if you're watching this, we also have an audio version.
Yeah. But also, we might have a video version on Spotify, so you might be watching this anyway.
Shall we get on with it?
We can crack a lacking.
Yeah. You can start it off, Matt.
Wow. This is a slightly different episode. Before we start, this is a slightly different episode from what we did. We're gonna do news, but after news, it's gonna be a different thing.
Yeah.
So
stay tuned for the different thing after news.
Yes.
But first, we move on to our first segment.
Yep.
Have you heard?
Probably not. Yep. Go on, Charlie. What have I heard?
Firstly, I know you've heard this because we just watched it. There was a trailer for Beast Wars, the new Transformers movie.
There was, yeah.
We just watched it. What do you think?
I thought that it was very good.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought it was pretty cool. And
I've
I think
done
you're
that
doing
the wrong
backwards.
side, yeah.
Good
start.
Good start there. I thought it was pretty cool. I watched the Beast Wars show as a kid with I forgot that they were called the Maximals until I looked it up after we watched the trailer.
Yep. And me not knowing, I've never seen the Beast Wars before.
As a kid, I thought the animation was amazing, and I've gone back and looked now, and it's like cubes smashing into each other. Bit better than that, but that's not far off.
That's basically the way it goes.
But no, it was pretty cool. We got introduced to a few of the Maximals in the trailer. So you get Optimus Primal, who's apparently being voiced by Ron Perlman. I did not hear that at all in the trailer.
I didn't hear that. I thought it was just Optimus Prime again.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
But that is like straight off the bat, design really cool.
Yeah, incredible.
Like, it's like they find, like with Bumblebee, they finally found that happy medium of like realistic, but also looking like the cartoon.
Yeah,
and I think they've done it again with the Maximals.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. We also got, I don't know who are voicing the other ones, but we also got a look at Cheetor and Mirage and RC. I was gonna name the Maximals first and then go into the Transformers. But that's fine. Maximals wise, we got Cheetor, Rhinox, and Air Razor.
Yes, classic.
The names.
The classic names.
I feel like they're not as well thought through as the Transformers, but they looked cool.
You say that, but we also have Bumblebee.
Yeah, but
for a yellow and black car.
But he was a bug. The reason he was called Bumblebee is because he was a bug. He was a Volkswagen bug.
Yeah. But he was also yellow and black.
Yeah, he could have been called Beetle. It would have been worse.
You do raise a good point.
Yeah, those were really cool. And then, as Matt said, we also got a look at Mirage. He probably had like even though obviously it's about the Beast Wars and those characters, I think Mirage probably had like the best showcase in this trailer.
Yeah,
like he had that whole like fully spin round and carry on driving shot that was pretty cool.
Look at this, doing some stuff.
Oh,
yeah, look, cracking. Whoa, look at that.
Look at that. That is a shape.
It is a shape. I'm assuming that this goes on there because there isn't another. Which way around does it go? It goes this way around, I think. There we go. Probably get yelled at for doing that, but it's fine. But yeah, the actual like trailer itself, they didn't I've got no idea what's going on. There's no story in there at all.
It looked like, from what I looked up, their fight. It wasn't showcased at all in the trailer, but they're fighting. I think I said it before. The Terror or something. I can't find it. I feel like it was on this one that I read it.
Nope.
Did you mess up?
No, there's just a lot of the same piece, and some of them have stickers, some of them don't have stickers, and it's confusing me. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on where.
What are you doing wrong?
Basically, yeah. So that one's that one. That one's that one. Sorted. Wait. Not sorted. Go there. Stop. Right, there we go. Okay. Perfect. And that one goes there. Okay.
I think they're called the Terrorizers or something.
Right.
The Terrorizers or something like that. I know they say Maximals maximize at one point.
Ah, yes. Classic Transformers phrases.
Yeah. Sure, they'll be in there and they'll say them with a very
good speech behind
gravitas
it. Yeah.
Behind it.
That's the word for it, yeah.
The actor that I was trying to think of is Anthony Ramos. I think I'm saying that right. I hope I am. I apologise if I'm not. He was in the In the Heights musical that came out. He was also in the Hamilton cast recording.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
From what I've seen him in, he's been good. And that final shot of the trailer, which is also the first shot of the trailer, bit weird. But where Mirage transforms and then they're both walking together. Yeah. Pretty fucking cool.
It is a very cool shot, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, looks cool. Some robots that have cool design and they're fighting each other. And that's enough.
It's robots in disguise.
Yeah.
The one thing I did find funny about it is the fact that
the giant animals aren't really disguised.
Well, not only that, but biology wise, okay, the gorilla is a much more hardy animal than a humanoid, right?
Yeah.
So
he
why
had a chain thing when he transforms? He had like a chain thing.
Regardless of whether or not he had a chain thing, okay.
Like
the gorilla then transforms into a more humanoid thing. When if he stayed in the gorilla form, he would have been more hardy, more tanked. You know. Well, what's the point in the transformation? Just stay as the thing.
Because then it can be more than one thing.
He's got hands either way. It's not like a car.
Toys.
I don't care.
Toys.
It infuriates me.
Optimus Primal. That's why.
Optimus stupid.
But it was a cool trailer.
It was a cool trailer.
Saying that, it was a cool trailer.
It was a cool trailer. I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, that's fine. We got something that wasn't a trailer but was some pictures. Was another first look, which was a look at. Well, not a first look. Is it a first look at Indiana Jones? Don't lose it.
Yes. Yeah. It was a first. Well, technically no, because there was a couple clips at a Comic-Con, but I haven't seen those clips.
Yeah.
So
there's quite a few promotional images going around now of Indiana Jones. We didn't talk about that last time, so we thought we'd just jump in on that. Looks cool. Let's say Indiana Jones.
It's Indiana Jones.
I am skeptical. There's one photo of Harrison Ford running.
I don't think I've seen that photo.
It's like one photo. He's in like an action pose. I think it's been memed a few times.
Right.
But I just he's like an 80-year-old man. I'm like, it's not
yeah.
It's not going to be a fast-paced chase, whatever it is. And I'm wondering how much of that is actually him, or is it he takes a few steps until the camera gets around the side of him and then it's straight into stunt double.
Bit of both.
Yeah. I know he can still do the whip, as he keeps telling everyone.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
He can still. No, sorry.
No, you did it wrong. Yeah, that way.
I'm doing it wrong.
But yeah, looks cool. Interested to see what they do with
Yeah, I like Indiana Jones has been like in my top 5 franchises for the longest time.
High praise.
I really like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I like
so
Indiana
much
Jones.
so that when I was like 12, I bought a whip off eBay. Like a genuine bull whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought
Ever
it.
use it for anything?
Yeah, I did. I went myself in the head like twice. But yeah, no, it's I'm a big
stan.
Big stan.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've done that right, so feel free. I think that
It
this needs to
looks-
move back one maybe.
Yes, it needs to move forward one, I think.
And you destroyed it.
Yeah. I'm going to take it apart.
Okay, you do
and
that
then
and redo it.
redo it.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited to see when a trailer comes out. If it looks cool, it's definitely going to be a handover film because they're going to continue the franchise. I just think Harrison Ford's going to step
But
down.
there was a thing that someone said that it could be that there's talks of an animated thing
Oh yeah,
for Disney Plus, so whether or not like it carries on being Indiana Jones but in an animated form,
right.
or whether they change the reins over to a different actor, because obviously they tried to do that in the last one with Mutt and that didn't really go very well.
Yes. However, this time they're doing it. The woman in it, I can't remember her name.
Jesus, why does that keep coming
but
off? Carry on.
She is, I think, and I might be wrong, so feel free to tell me I'm wrong. But Indiana Jones' goddaughter.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason why I think that's
Yeah.
the route they're going to go down. Whether or not Indy dies is a whole other thing. But
I feel like
yeah.
in my mind, I feel like they give India like a happy ending, but
yeah,
that's just my.
that's just your.
That's how it like
head
how I
canon.
can think about. That's how I'd like think about it anyway if I was doing it.
Yeah.
As someone who is also an Indiana Jones fan, I probably am not. I would say I'm not as big of a fan as you because I didn't buy a whip, but I'm quite a big fan of it when it came out, when it was coming out, and loved the first 3. Can give or take the fourth one. But yeah, excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
And then our third and final bit of news, but not really news, was just talking about the fact that God of War came out.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to talk about it because I really like God of War.
Go on then, Charlie. You talk about. I've played the first one.
Yeah.
I haven't played any of the second one.
So I'm about 15. I think last time I saved, I was like 50. It says I'm 15 hours into the game. Whether that's just I've played for 15 hours,
right,
or whether I'm 15 hours through the story.
Yeah.
I think it's just that I've played for 15 hours.
Okay.
Because I spent last night about an hour on one boss that I definitely wasn't ready for, but was determined to do, and I did.
You are
do
definitely somebody that does side quests first,
Yeah.
which is why you don't play many games.
No, I play one game, but I play it until like
You play one game religiously
Yeah.
until the next one comes out.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. It's like when Red Dead came out, I didn't play anything else.
I've just gone back to playing Red Dead actually.
I was thinking about going back to playing Red Dead once I finished God of War. It was either that or I was going to go back and play Last of Us again.
Nice.
But play them like in sequence or
Mm-hmm,
something.
I haven't played.
Played 2?
2, no. I haven't played 2.
Do you want me to give you 2 and then you can play 2?
No, I've got 2.
Oh, you've
I
got
just
2.
haven't played.
Have you got it and not played
I
it?
don't know. I think something else came out at the same
I feel
time.
like that's worse than.
See, yeah, I just buy all the games and never play them.
If you play, the only thing I can think about that came, I know that came out at the same time was
Was what?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, I think I played that more
Yeah,
than I did.
it's the only other thing I can think.
Yeah.
That came out the same summer.
Yeah, but I still
Because-
didn't finish that either.
That was wow. Okay.
I put a lot of time into it, but I didn't finish it.
Yeah.
I did all the side quests.
Ah.
So
It's not just me.
no, it's not just you.
But no, I just wanted to talk about the fact that I love God of War and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Good. My favorite
it's-
character is the squirrel.
He is really good. Have you seen him from the new game? Or
From the new game, yeah.
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 you realise that Troy Baker is one of his. So basically, this isn't a spoiler. I wouldn't say. And if you've seen the trailer for the game, you know that he's in it.
Yeah.
But in the previous game, you could like summon the squirrel character
Yeah.
as part one of Atreus's like summons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Troy Baker.
Yeah.
And this new one isn't Troy Baker, but it turns out that the squirrel can essentially like split his soul or something.
I've seen something about that. Yeah.
So Troy Baker is still in the game, which is like a nice surprise.
Yeah.
As the voice of like his angry emotion or something.
So
So there's like one little angry squirrel, and that's Troy Baker. He keeps swearing at you, and it's brilliant.
Right.
But yeah, so far it's really good. I've only seen like raving reviews of it, so I'm excited to like get more into it as I have been. I'm very into it. As I said, it's the only thing I'm playing.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to go further into the story and see how it ends, because I'm slightly worried, but I'm hoping I'm wrong about how it's going to end.
That one.
Not because I'm going to be disappointed with it, just because I'm going to be sad.
Well, only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
And that is the end of Have You Heard?
That is... Wow. That was a short Have You Heard, Charlie? What does that mean?
That means we're moving on to our next segment.
Which is...
So we thought, this year we've gone to a lot of Comic Cons. So we wanted to talk about our experiences with we've only just really finished the Comic Con season, as it were. So I think Matt agrees, that we would talk about
I had no choice.
our experiences with the cons this year, what we liked, what we didn't like,
Mm-hmm.
what we're looking forward to next year. A little segment or episode I like to call Comic Con or Comic Off.
At this point, I just have to bite my tongue and not flip the table. I'm sure some people like dad jokes.
Yep.
But
it's my bread and butter.
yeah. I mean, I make dad jokes, but it's fine when I do it.
Yeah.
But if I hear them...
Yeah, you hate it. And you look at me like you want to kill me every time.
Yeah. Yeah, so go on then, Charlie. Which con do you want to start at? Obviously, the first one we went to this year was May?
Was it May or was it Secret Con?
I didn't go to Secret Con.
No, the first one was this year. In this prison.
That wasn't this year. That was last year.
That was this year.
Was that this year?
That was this year.
I thought it was last year.
No, that was this year. Pretty sure.
No, I can't.
Have a look.
Hang on, I'm gonna have to have a gander.
Your perception. I'm gonna just
My
fuck up your
perception
of
of time is
because that was the start of the year, and the other one wasn't until I'm pretty sure that was the start of the year, and then it was May after that.
Hang on.
I'm just blowing Matt's mind.
Oh, maybe it was. Hang on. 29th of March. Wow.
Yeah. Not long after your birthday, mate.
Yeah. Although that must have been... No, it must have been before that.
Yeah.
Before my birthday, I mean.
Yeah. The event was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it was this year.
Yeah, it was this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've had... Yeah,
So that was the
okay.
first
That
of
was
this
the
year.
first of this... Wow. Okay, cool. So yeah, SecretCon was the first con of this year.
Yeah.
Blimey. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that one. Crikey.
I didn't realise I was going to throw you that
No,
much.
yeah,
That one.
that's proper throwing me actually. I was convinced that was last year.
Yeah.
Headcanon destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one was actually really cool. I really enjoyed that SecretCon. Obviously, it was the only one I've been to.
Yeah.
But in the prison, it felt obviously cold because it was the beginning of the year and it was winter still. And I was dressed as Spider-Man, so I was in spandex, which was lovely.
You have started wearing thermals then?
I have started wearing thermals since then.
Yeah.
But no, it was I had a really good time, met some cool people, got some cool photographs, and I did a podcast as well, but they haven't released the episode. I don't think they've done the editing for that, but yeah, no. What did you think of that one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was like our first experience of doing something like that, outside of like what you would call like a regular con.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was the location was cool. Obviously, that one was more catered towards us as like cosplayers.
Yeah.
Opposed to like just a general con experience.
Yeah, I was about to say like I guess we just should explain what cON is.
Yeah.
It's essentially cosplay meetup for photographers and cosplayers to get together and take cool pictures. Nothing in the way of vendors or any way or guests or any buying things. Or
no,
anything
obviously
like
that wasn't the point of the
No.
con.
It is literally a place to get pictures and create content.
Yeah.
So that's what cON is. If we ever mention cON in the future or in a minute, then that's
there was more than one this year.
Then that's what it is. Whereas more of a conventional con, there's guests, there's cosplay, there's vendors, there's lots more people and lots more public people.
I think that was one of the other things was obviously the fact that it's like a experience like a con, but it wasn't as crowded as I think we'll go on to talk about. Some of the other experiences this year and with the crowds as well.
And you also got to remember that we were like, weirdly, beginning of this year, we were still very much in the COVID mindset.
Oh yeah, it was, yeah.
So it was, I don't think we had to test, but I know a few people dropped out because they had COVID, so they couldn't come. And I think they were like saying, if you have COVID in the last few weeks, then please don't come.
Yeah. I think we were out of like the fact that like, we were out of some of it. We weren't fully out of it.
Which is,
so again, weird perception
of time. But yeah. And then, so did you finish saying what you wanted to say about that con, or?
Currently I can't think of what there's nothing else I really wanted to say about it. I enjoyed it. It seemed well organized and stuff from when we were there. I think that's all I want to say on that con.
After
that con specifically.
After that one, that was then May.
That was then May. Yeah.
That was. So May was London MCM Comic-Con.
Sorry, I was just trying to figure out where this was going. That's why I couldn't think then about.
That's okay. Yeah. So May was London MCM, which was very, very busy.
Yeah.
We went. We did a weekend, didn't we?
I didn't. You did a weekend for May. I did 2
did
days.
A weekend. Yes, that's correct. Yes, yeah, because I stayed in the premiere end, didn't I?
Yeah, we stayed in different hotels that one.
Yeah. So London MCM, and I guess it's kind of the same for London Film and Comic Con and all of that kind of thing. Although Film and Comic Con is actually a little bit quieter.
Yeah.
But MCM is like the biggest one, I would say, in the UK at the moment.
It's definitely the most like
populated, well-known one. Only in May, we're convinced that MCM decided to sell more tickets than they actually had.
Yeah.
And
I'm convinced they still do.
Yeah, really. They massively oversold.
Yeah.
Which meant that being inside the XL Centre in London in the middle end of May, was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah. I don't think we spent most of the day outside.
Yeah, well, obviously Charlie wasn't there on the Friday. I was.
Yeah. Fridays are normally the okay day.
Yeah, Friday was okay, but the rest of it, like the Saturday, we spent most of the day outside because it was so hot. The Sunday, we spent half of the day outside because it was so hot.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. It wasn't a pleasant place to be, especially you can imagine in spandex.
Yeah.
And in whatever you were wearing. What were you? Daredevil
that then, so I was in like full leathers essentially.
Yeah, motorbike leathers.
Yeah.
So it was a very sweaty experience. But that being said, and something that I will say about MCM in general is that I no longer go there for the con.
No, I go there to see people and to do like
to meet up and socialize with people that I haven't seen for maybe a year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because a lot of the time there's a lot of people that we're friends with now that we only see at conventions and stuff.
Yeah. I will say that I think there's a lot of problems with London MCM. I think it could be way better.
Yeah.
It could be better organized. It
could have more. There's a lot more. There's a lot of cons that have a lot more to do.
Yeah.
As we said, we don't go there for the actual con itself at this point. We're
Yeah.
going there to see the people that are also going to the con.
It's so it's one of those things where once you've gone to one, you've gone to them all.
Yeah.
Because it's always the same vendors, it's always the same kind of stuff that you buy, which is why over the years, especially this year, like both of us have bought less and less.
Yeah, I think
as it's gone on.
Last con I bought a comic and maybe 2 pins.
Yeah, I
remember going.
I bought a couple action figures, but that was
buying
it.
Loads.
Yeah. Coming back with stuff, just bags of stuff.
Yeah. I used to do like a Comic Con haul, and now I actually don't have enough stuff to do that.
Yeah, I do a Comic Con pocket empty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So, yeah, that's London. What's your thoughts on London though? Like, in general.
No, yeah, I agreed. Like, the organisation could be a lot better, and we'll go on to talk about cons that were a lot better organised as well. And it proves that it's not like undoable either.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just wherever the people that are organising its priorities lie, I guess. Whether it's making it like a fun, comfortable experience, or whether it's just making money. Obviously, it's a corporation running it, so at this point, a lot of it is going to be based around like what they're making from the event and stuff, opposed to people's enjoyment.
Yep.
There was a survey that was pushed out to people that obviously bought MCM tickets.
Yeah.
And I urge anyone that went to any MCM this year to put in your feedback.
Yep.
So that hopefully
the things we want happen will change.
Future events can be better organised, and they can see that people are unhappy with some of the conditions, I guess, of the event aren't up to standard, and hopefully in the future they'll
do better.
Yeah. But I enjoy it in that I get to see some of the people that some really great friends.
Mm-hmm.
In all, organisation could be better. They could put more thought into what they're actually providing at the events.
Yeah.
To make it entertaining and worthwhile attending.
Yeah, definitely.
And just not oversell and think about capacity a bit better.
Yeah.
In general.
And then
and I think we'll reiterate this again when we talk about October.
Yeah. Yeah. So next on the list for cons is Fantasy Forest, or Fan4 Fest, I think they're called on Instagram.
Maybe, yeah.
Which was our first Ren Fair.
Yeah.
For a UK Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Because they aren't very common.
No, there are a few
like here.
They're like spotted around, but they're like
yeah.
much further away. Any others?
Yeah. So it's a good amount of travel for us at least. But
no, yeah, this Fantasy Forest was probably. I'll let you go from there.
Nice.
So you just did that.
Yeah.
Cool. I think Fantasy Forest was probably my favourite event of the year.
Big praise.
As mainly just because of how it compared to like MCM. It was so well organised.
Yes.
Like there was no long queues going into the event. We didn't get there first thing, and even though we didn't get there first thing, we weren't sitting around in the queue for very long.
Yeah, the queue was. I was like blown away by the queue and how small the queue was.
Yeah,
like it was literally.
We got into the event efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably slightly easier in a sense because all of it was outdoors.
Yeah.
But saying that, thinking about the size of the building and like the size of the grounds that the castle's in, if it was used optimally, it's probably near a similar size to something like the London XL.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 100%.
Because there is a lot of empty space as well.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot less people.
Yeah.
But equally, they had sold out.
Quite a lot. Yeah, it was still a sold out event. And that again goes to the point of the fact that they obviously didn't oversell their tickets.
Yeah.
For the capacity that was there, which meant it was a very comfortable experience to move around in, and visit the stalls that were there. There weren't ever really any like crowds around stalls. So one of the issues that happens with like MCM as well is you could be moving down one of the walkways and not be able to see anything just because there's that many other people and you can't even get to the side of a walkway to look at something that's on a stall.
Yep.
Whereas at Fantasy Forest,
that didn't happen.
Didn't happen. I don't think I ever felt like I was in an overcrowded space at any point.
I think the only time,
maybe when we were at the food bit.
I was going to say the only time I did was when we were looking for food or trying to get food. Yeah. But I mean, you're going to get that naturally everywhere you go.
About that, I know I keep comparing it to MCM, but you know how hot it was, and it was unbearable to be inside and stuff in May.
Yeah,
it was like one of the hottest days of the year.
It was the hottest day of the year.
It was the hottest day of the year. I think I felt more comfortable there than I did when I was inside the XL.
I mean, I definitely did. Yeah. That
the heat of the compared to the inside of the XL to that of the exterior in the hottest day of the year in the sun was more comfortable.
Yeah.
There was also just much more to do at this event. Like as well as vendors and things to shop for. They had a lot of they had multiple stages with different things happening like the whole day.
Yeah.
Which are all like free to go and look at or watch or whatever.
They had archery.
They had lots of different training courses, or like games, or as Matt says, things like archery and stuff to just go and do. I can't remember if we paid for the archery separately or not.
Yes, we did.
We did, but it wasn't a lot of money.
No, it wasn't.
There are a lot of things similar to that though that you could just go and do for free.
There we go. Sorry, I was probably having a go at that. Sorry, yeah, carry on.
And I just thought like the general vibe of the event was just nice as well.
Yeah. And as like having never been to a Ren fair, it was just such a good first experience. They made it so that, and I don't know if that was their first one or not.
It's not the first Fantasy Forest.
Well, regardless, they made it feel like, even if it was your first time going, it was like you were comfortable.
Welcoming.
Yeah, all the staff were friendly. They were nice. They were like helping you if you didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
It was just and my partner Rin, she came as well, and that was her first sort of event experience, and she had a genuinely good time and wants to go again, which is really good.
And we will be going again.
And we will be going again. Yeah. But it was just such a nice experience. And the want to go back is almost stronger than going to Comic-Con in a sense, I think, for me.
Yeah.
Because it's a different experience. I'm sure that, they're going to progress it even more.
In terms of like wanting to go to the event itself. Anyway.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Fan for Fest.
Yeah.
Fantasy Forest.
Yeah. If anyone wants to know, I feel like we should say this. We've already said it. Obviously, MCM May was in London. This one was in Gloucester.
Yes.
So if you are interested in that sort of event and want to go to one, look it up and see if you'd like to go.
Yeah.
But that is our thoughts on that event. The next one after that, I think for me, which is one you didn't go to, which was the Wales Comic Con.
Yep.
There's more than one like bigger one that I know of Wales. As far as I know, this was just Wales Comic Con, whereas there's also like Telford Takeover, which I think was just a weekend or two ago, which we didn't go to.
Right.
But the one I went to was in, I want to say September.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly when it was. But it was fine. It was a smaller event. There was much less there. But again, it wasn't an event that felt overcrowded or anything. What was good about this one, I feel like another thing that I get annoyed at with MCM and stuff is a lot of the reason some people do go to Comic-Con is to like see guests, even if they don't get to meet them. They see these people that they've known from things, and you can see them. And it ends up being that a lot of the guests for MCM and things get put behind stuff.
Yeah.
So you literally can't see them without paying to just see the person.
Yeah.
Whereas at Wales, you could literally walk up to any of the people that were there as tables. I don't know. I wasn't there on the first day of the event, which is the day John Cena was there.
Right. Well, he's probably there the whole weekend. You just couldn't see him.
No. Yes. No, he wasn't there for the second day. Officially. Anyway. but like you could literally just see any of the guests that were there, like just sat at the tables, and you could walk up and just talk to them. One of the friends that I was there with went and met one of the actors from Buffy,
That's pretty cool.
and we just got to walk up with them while they got the thing signed, and they actually appreciate their cosplay so much that they did a video with them.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So that was cool. And yeah, that was nice, and I got to meet some people that I hadn't met before, so that was quite nice. And I think that was the first time I also debuted my Daredevil with a few more upgrades. Like I didn't have the Daredevil Billy clubs before, so that was the first time I debuted them, and the first time I did like the fake blood look with my Daredevil, and people really appreciated it, and that felt really good as well.
Always feels good when you're appreciated
So yeah,
in cosplay.
Small. So to summarize, because there's not a lot to say about that one. Small, in general. I don't think it would be a full weekend one for me if I were to go again. But for a day experience, it was fun. And it was cool meeting people. And that was about it.
Nice. Good. I'm glad you had a good time. I mean, I didn't go, so
I don't know if I'd go again in a hurry.
Right. But
because
it was still.
It didn't seem like. But maybe in the future they'll add more to it, and they might. There was a bit of empty space at this event, so they had like quite a lot of upstairs area, but there wasn't much in it.
Right.
And there are a few of the actors and stuff up there, but they weren't really utilising it, I think, to the best. If they did that a bit more, then maybe there'd be a bit more to see, a bit more to do.
Okay, I understand.
But that is that event, and then the next one after that, we'll go back to the MCM in London.
Sure.
So again, I feel like this will just be parroting a bit of what we said before about May. Is that we're kind of at this point going to them to see people and not really to attend the event at this point until MCM improves some of the conditions that of the con itself. There's not a lot more to say about it, I don't think.
No, I mean, I think I had a better time in October than I did in May.
I think it was slightly better.
But it wasn't like
they'd like completely changed the game or anything.
No, it was better in the way that there was less people.
Yeah.
And we only went
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
So maybe that was just down to us being a bit smarter about it. I don't know.
I think potentially the way forward for us will be to go for only 2 days. The Saturday and the Sunday, probably.
Yeah, and we only there for like half the day on the Saturday as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as nice as it is to see people on, the Friday. Sometimes on the Friday, the people that we kind of want to see and meet up with aren't even there, so it renders the day useless almost because we also don't buy things.
Yeah.
So it's like we might as well
wait
and do the Saturday and the Sunday,
and then you're also saving money. So
you're saving money because London is very expensive. They've hiked the prices up.
That's another thing that was annoying about it compared to other conventions. Yeah,
it's just so expensive. It's so expensive.
Yeah, I think up to £80 for a weekend ticket.
Yeah,
it's
ridiculous.
So over £80.
£82, I think.
Yeah,
for a weekend ticket.
Yeah,
I think that was priority weekend though. Was there a general weekend?
No, there won't be a general weekend ticket. There'll be because weekend comes with priority.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I think it was about £82 or something like that. But that's just ridiculous.
Like,
luckily,
especially with the amount of stuff that is actually to do at the event for that price. It's you think you're going there and you want to meet a guest that's there, and you've got to pay for that on top of the £80 ticket.
Yeah. Luckily, I think like for me. I've been incredibly lucky in the fact that in May and in November for Birmingham, which we'll move on to in a second, I was lucky enough to get a creator pass, and I got a couple last year as well, and they were like that basically allows me to get in for free, so I don't have to pay for a ticket, and I just make content there because celebrity. I'm far from that, but I was lucky enough to get a creator pass, as were a lot of other people. But what I will say on that matter is that what MCM need to do is release a rule set for creators to meet in order to, get people to understand what they need to be able to do to get a creator pass. Because at the moment, it seems like they are literally picking people at random. Like, I don't know. It just seems a bit weird to me. But
I found that piece that, like, I was like, where's that go? I found where it went.
okay. Just redoing it. Yeah. So the creator pass is a really good asset if you are a creator and if you are lucky enough to get one, but there aren't any rules and regulations on what you need to do. So
it's another thing that MCM can improve on.
Yeah, they just need to be honest and release the criteria. The criteria, that's the word I was looking for. I'm trying to explain around it. The criteria for what you need to be able to do to get a creator pass. That's my input as a creator. That is my input. Cool, don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I've applied for it a few times. I don't have the same sort of following that Matthew does.
But
online.
Saying that, people that have a similar following to you have also been accepted into the Creator Pass program.
What the criteria is for actually achieving the Creator Pass at that point.
So, who knows?
There's another thing that MCM can improve on.
Yeah.
I think everything we're mentioning is just is not any form of slander in any way.
No.
It's all like points for improvement for the people that are running the con so that they can make a better experience for the people going to it.
Yeah. And like this isn't just stuff that we think either.
And we've heard it from
like this is everyone we've spoken to.
Other creators, other general con goers.
Yeah. Like we've been talking about this at the con itself as well, which is, wild. But yes, after that one, which is funny, is another MCM, but this is the Birmingham MCM. Yes.
And I feel like it's crazy how different Birmingham MCM was to London MCM.
Yes. Yeah.
Because essentially, they're both under the same banner of MCM, but Birmingham was wildly better organised.
Yeah.
Than London. There were still issues with Birmingham. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there were.
There were some things with like the people that were hiring for their security were a bit
advantageous. Advantageous? That's the word.
Yeah, aggressive for no reason at points as well. Similar things to that. But as like a organization, as a in terms of like the crowd and stuff like that, I think that was much better organised than it was for MCM London.
I agree.
Whether or not that's like a event popularity reason.
I don't know whether or not they're even organised by the same people at this point.
No.
But MCM
it doesn't
Birmingham,
feel like they are.
It doesn't feel like they are. MCM Birmingham this year was more like the November one. I think, was there another one earlier in the year?
No, MegaCon is also earlier in the year.
Right, okay. But MCM in Birmingham was such the difference was night and day.
Yeah,
almost. It was smaller than it was last year, granted, but that almost made it better.
Yeah, I feel like there was actually a lot more to actually do. To the event, which was a point we brought up with the other one.
Yeah. Like this time in November, there was axe throwing.
Yeah.
I've never seen axe throwing at a con before.
Yeah,
that needs to be more.
I thought it was slightly. It seemed like. I don't know whether it was it seemed like a good idea, but nothing bad happened. But
no,
so
no.
To begin with, I was like, "Is this a good idea?" But yeah, nothing bad happened with it.
Obviously all of the safety measures were in place for that. It wasn't just randomly targets in the middle of a thing. It was like netting around it and all that sort of stuff. But
there was things like the Midnight Suns game release thing where you could play the game early. That was there.
Yeah, that was cool.
There were a lot more photo opportunities and things like that. There. A lot more like interactive stalls, not just selling stalls. I think that's the main thing. Yeah,
there's a couple of good. Although to be fair, actually, at London there was a couple of good set pieces. I will say that.
Okay.
So like the castle. Yeah. Like that kind of thing.
That's the thing with some of the other ones though. They actually had other things happening within those areas.
Yes. Yeah.
Other than just it's a photo opportunity.
Yeah. Like in Birmingham, there was the like that droid booth.
Yeah.
Granted, that wasn't obviously part of MCM, the organisation.
No, but it's what they're bringing into the con itself, what vendors they're allowing in.
Yeah, that booth then just basically distributed droids everywhere. Like so, you had like R2D2 and then a variant of and other droids basically. But they also had like the Doctor Who stand like next to that.
Yeah.
So there were Daleks wandering around as well. Which, granted, you get with somewhat with cosplay, and you get somewhat at London.
Yeah.
But it's easier to see at Birmingham because it's better organised,
Yeah, it's more accessible.
more accessible.
But yeah, I think that's most of that event anyway. As we said, we think it was much better organised. There, as I said, still issues, mainly revolving for me around the security itself.
Mm-hmm.
I also think MCM needs to do a bit better about like who they hand like press passes to and stuff as well. Because I've heard other things around like photographers and things like that are being allowed in and things like that. I've also heard that like some people that are videographers and are photographers haven't been allowed access through like press passes than they have before.
Yeah.
And whether or not photographers need to apply for a creator pass or a press pass.
Yeah, it's
there's no criteria for that either.
No, you just have to kind of guess and hope for the best.
Yeah. But I do think Birmingham was better, if not just for the fact that
personally,
yeah,
I would prefer to go to Birmingham.
I prefer to do a
over
weekend
London.
of Birmingham than a weekend of London.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the takeaway from that.
Yes, and take from that what you will as well. Obviously, you can take all of this with a pinch of salt if you've never been to a con.
Yeah.
Go to all of them, experience them for yourself.
Yeah, that's just our point of view from how many events is that this year, then? Oh, and I didn't talk about the second Secret Con.
You didn't talk about the second Secret Con.
Second Secret Con,
which was in October, September.
That might have been September. Yes, that was September as well, I think.
Yes.
Because it wasn't long after Secret Con, because I didn't know whether or not I was going to go to that. Wales after that as well.
Yeah, well, go ahead and talk about that one, because it was in a different location from the prison.
It was in Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent. The historic town on the River Trent. Stick and done.
Okay, you done?
Yep. Okay.
Sorry. It was in a manor house. That was quite cool. I'm impressed with like the variety of locations and stuff that SecretCon keep picking.
Yeah.
Organization wise, I think it might just be like the size of. It might have been both the fact that the weather wasn't like incredible that day.
Right.
So it meant that quite a lot of the time people had to be rushed inside. So there was more people inside, which made it seem busier.
Right.
Inside. When it started to rain, it was like on and off the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
So it felt a bit more clustered, but I think like overall it was the same as the earlier event, just for cosplayers and photographers making content in a cool location.
Who did you take for that?
For that I took my Vax cosplay.
That was
the first one that I did the wings for. That's the one I was making the wings for originally, and now it comes to other ones. I've actually decided I'll talk about that in our other segment, but some other things I want to do to the wings to make them ever so slightly better.
I mean, you can talk about them now. It's totally fine.
No, it's part of it.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I think I preferred the prison overall, just because, as I said, I think space-wise and stuff, it was a bit nicer.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't. I also think the cosplay I took, like with the size and stuff, would have been more advantageous to like a different location. But that's on part of me of what I decided to take with me.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah. That's not their fault.
No. Yeah, overall, it was a really cool location. It was a fun weekend overall. There's only the thing with SecretCon that both of them have only been a day, which is kind of nice because it's less overwhelming in that regard.
Yeah.
And I met some, as I always do at these events, met some great people and continue to meet great people at Comic Cons. That's one of the best parts about going to them in general.
You just meet new people. You make new friends pretty much every time
you
go. It's you end up with more friends online than ever before, and you have a whole community of people, and you mix and match and blah blah blah.
But yeah, I think that's
it's a good time. I think
just to wrap up on all of it.
Yeah.
I think what we should go through them all. Mm-hmm. Each one. Mm-hmm. Is it Comic Con or Comic Con?
Oh, for fuck's sake! Somebody help! I'm being kept here against my will.
So first Secret Con in March. Is it Comic Con or Comic Con?
Comic Con.
Comic Con.
Comic Con.
Yeah.
I'm going through with this.
We'll continue to go through with it because it's fun.
Yeah.
And then after that we have MCM May.
Comic off.
Comic off.
I'm going to be controversial.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, it's not
It's Comic Con.
at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a good experience.
No.
It was too hot.
No, it needs to be better. We discussed how it could be better. Fantasy Forest, Comic Con.
Comic Con. Yeah. Comic Con.
Yeah.
Kamikaze. That was. Yeah. Comic Con.
Kamikaze. After that was which was first? It was the next Secret Con was first after that. So I'd say Comic On again. Not a strong Comic Con because I thought the first one was slightly better, but still fun. So Comic Con.
Comic Con. Nice.
Again, Wales, a bit small, but still
Comic
Con. London.
I'm gonna say Comic Con for that one because
October.
Because it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah.
Wasn't special, but Comic Con because there was less people there. There were people that we could talk to still, and
I'd agree. And then Birmingham, I'd also say Comic Con.
Yeah.
So not a lot of Comic Off.
Not a lot of Comic Off, but it's just a big Comic Off as it's the big Comic Con.
Yeah.
Like,
it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that again, a wrap up is that go to these cons yourself. If you've never been to a Comic Con before,
highly recommend.
You don't have to cosplay. That's one misconception.
What we like to do.
Well, it's just what we like to. We like to dress up. We're children.
Yeah.
We are just big children.
Yeah.
But yeah, please go to the cons. Make your own judgments. I will say if you don't like crowded places, go.
Maybe try one of the smaller ones first.
If you've got local cons, go to those. That's actually something that I want to do more. Is go to like the local cons around us. But yeah, if you are bad with crowds, maybe take a friend so that they can comfort you, or go with somebody that you can trust. Yeah. So yeah, that's my takeaway.
I'd highly agree. Yeah, go to them yourself, assess them yourself. Might be smarter, as Matt said, try a smaller one first, see if you like it. Again, if you don't like crowded places, some of the busier ones, until they get better with organisation, might be better to stay away from.
Yeah,
maybe, especially not for a whole weekend.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd say especially the Saturdays more than anything. I'd feel like if you want to go to one of the busier ones, go on a Friday or a Sunday, because normally they're not as sold out and it's a bit chiller.
Yeah, Friday definitely.
Yeah.
Sunday
can you go either way.
Yeah,
but yeah. So that is the end of Comic Con or Comic Off, and that leads us on to our next segment, which is the cosplay catch up.
I forgot the words.
Yeah. I feel like for this one we don't have a lot to talk about in the respect of what we've been doing, but I want to talk about what you want to do.
Okay.
For this one.
Okay.
So as I said before, I'll start it off and give you a minute to think. On that.
I'm gonna go through my app. I have an app.
Okay. Which app is that?
It's the Cosplanner app.
Oh, the Cosplanner app.
This isn't sponsored.
Not sponsored.
No,
but I would recommend.
Yeah, it's literally.
It's a good way to keep track of what you need to get.
It's an app.
Yeah. Maybe we'll put
I'll screen record what I'm doing right now, and I'll put it.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
So one thing that I saw at a recent con, which links us back to our last segment. And want to implement on something that I have. Yeah. Is that on the wings, I've for my Vax cosplay, I have upgraded them since the first time of wearing them. Because when I first wore them, they didn't have all the in-cuts into the feathers that made them like.
Yes. Yeah. Like frayed
/ feather out. They didn't have that the first time I wore them.
Right.
And I thought that was a good upgrade to them to make them look that little bit more realistic than they were previously.
Yeah.
And something that I saw at a few other people do. I have seen on other cosplays previously, but I haven't thought about how I was going to do it. Is like the spines of all the feathers.
Yes. Yeah.
I've got it on some of the smaller ones of the armor where I've like scored it in. But I've seen people have them with 3D versions.
Oh, cool.
But I saw someone do it with puff paint.
Interesting.
And thought that would be a easier way than having to cut individual like tubes or anything.
Yeah, you just do
to add them on. I can use puff paint
to do it.
Just puff paint them all onto.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then they'd have those 3D spines on them.
You don't have to make whole new feathers.
No, I don't have to make anything new. They're already black, so I just use black puff paint.
Yeah. Maybe go over it with a bit of like acrylic paint to matte it down because obviously.
I could buy a matte puff paint now.
You could do. I don't know if there is one. Yeah, there must be one. Go for it. I think it's great idea, to be honest.
Yeah, just add that little bit more to those. That bit.
What else do you want to do, Charlie? Doesn't have to be for these cosplays. Like any future cosplays that you wanna. You got to drop another hint.
Another hint from the last one. It's a red lightsaber. So it narrows it down.
Narrows it down.
Yeah. So it was a lightsaber before. Now you know it's red. It's Ventress. No. I'd rock Ventress. There's a few Critical Role cosplays that I want to do. I've put a few of them on my Instagram story. So if anyone that's looks at my Instagram would already know what that cosplay is, but I'm not going to reveal it on the podcast. You've got to find out for yourself.
Get wrecked.
Newland cosplay. If you want to see it. But I have mentioned on there like a few Critical Role cosplays. So with the recent campaign, I want to do a Chetney cosplay, and I've got some big plans for that. Which I haven't revealed the big plans for the Chetney cosplay, so I won't reveal those yet.
Okay.
But there are some big plans.
Those are the ones I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it should be cool. Hopefully, if I can do it.
Yeah. If not, you'll have a. Yeah.
I'll still have a Chetney cosplay.
Yeah.
I'll still have a Chetney cosplay. It just won't have really cool stuff.
Yeah.
That'll make it unique. And then after that, I want to do a Caleb cosplay from the second campaign, mainly because he has book holsters, and I want to make book holsters.
Why not?
Yeah, I just think it looks cool, and it's a cool idea for like wizards, books,
wizards.
That was me taking the books out.
Yeah. No, I just wizards.
Wizards.
One thing I like is wizards.
Wizards. I've still got to finish Geralt, but as I've said, that's it's a little bit of like passion behind it. It's going to make it like my own Witcher and stuff, and hopefully we'll do like a shoot of that one as well. Maybe we'll go to some actual Witcher locations. That's another thing I want to do with that cosplay. Yeah, is go to some actual Witcher filming locations and take photos of it.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
What do you want to do with your cosplay?
That's a very good question. Let's just circle back to the app for a second. Okay. So Cosplanet is a really cool app. Again, not sponsored, but I just use it a lot. You can essentially list your cosplay on the app, and then within that you can sort of categorize things in to buy or to make, and you can list them all out, and you can tick them off when you've bought them. You can also put how much each individual item costs, so you can see how much the cosplay in total is going to cost. And, so you can see how much time you can track, how much time you spent on it. Yeah, it's just a really cool app for tracking your cosplays.
How far through you are with making it. How much,
yeah. So the things I want to do is at the moment I am I'm still doing my Loki cosplay, but again, like your Witcher one, it's a bit of a passion one because it's got loads of different stuff with it. I've finished the crown to a point where I can paint it. That'd be cool. I forgot to mention that last time. Yeah. But I finished the crown. Finished the crown to a point where I can paint it, so I can paint that now. But after that, I've got to buy some gloves. I know the gloves I need to get, but I've got to buy them. And then the main part that I want to make first. Sorry, the next part I want to make is the long coat, because once I've got that done and I can see that and I've done it right, the rest of it will be like, right, let's finish it now. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the other thing I've got to do for it, which is kind of why I'm putting it off, is the scales and the scale mail. There's a lot of scales I've got to 3D print. I've also seen a different way you can print scales now, and instead of having to print them onto fabric and then sew that onto other fabric, you can you can literally 3D print like fabric. Excuse me, you can literally 3D print fabric now. So instead of you basically print sections and they clip together. So you end up with this sheet of clipped together things in the shape that you want it to be. That's cool. So you don't have to then worry about sewing it into anything. It's literally already a sheet of fabric. That's cool. So I'm tempted to be like, right, use the ones I've got for the legs, and then for the upper body do a different style and use that method because it might be a bit quicker. I might be able to paint it quicker and whatnot. Not that I'm rushing it. And then after that, again, is finishing Cobb Vanth. I need to get some gloves and boots for that. And the trousers are going to be annoying to source. But everything else I've pretty much got under wraps. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
It's going to be, Loki, I'm kind of going to bring it into more of a Fantasy Forest-esque thing where I'm going to have like lots of different bits on my belt and all that sort of stuff. So
it's cool to like have like little greeblies.
Like little extras that like, I can throw dust at somebody or something, glitter,
pocket sand,
snakes. That's pretty much it, I think.
Right,
for the time being.
That is the end of our show. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to make a comment on anything we've done or want to shoot us a message, give us a topic that you want us to you'd like us to talk about, a Lego set you'd like us to build, there is an email in the description down below.
Yep.
That you can shoot us an email on. It could be a question, it can be a comment on what we've said, anything like that. And it might be featured on the show if you do. Yeah, and
if you've been to a Comic-Con and you've had a good time or a bad time, put it in the comments down below if you're on the YouTube video, or email it, email it to us.
What was your favourite of the year?
Yeah.
If you went to one, what do you think some cons could do better?
Yeah, I think that would be quite an interesting thing to see what everyone else thinks.
What cons are there near you?
Yeah. Cool.
Thank
you very much for watching.
Thank you.
Catch you later.
In a bit.